I was searching for a YouTube video to show me this exact model of a CZ with this exact red dot on it. Since my search came up empty, I decided to release this video in hopes that it will help someone see and appreciate this setup in all its glorious 4K goodness and take the next step in upgrading their factory sites to a red dot sites. This is not particularly a review of either the gun or the red dot, as there are far more qualifying individuals out there that do a mighty fine job going into a ton of detail about each product, but more of an overview and a visual aid in all of its 4K lusciousness, especially if your screen supports 4K resolution. Ultimately, if you own a CZ75 SP01 tactical 9mm handgun like this one, and are thinking of adding a red dot like this one, this video is a visual aid, a way for you to see your gun with the red dot as if you had already upgraded from iron sights. This is an excellent setup for your bedside or a nightstand gun. To get the story going, I should tell you that CZ75 is a straight-up duty weapon. It's heavy, big, and all-metal construction, which is a dream come true for me, as I am pretty sick of plastic guns, though almost every other gun I own is plastic. When you shoot this gun, you almost want to ask yourself, where is the recoil? Being as heavy as this gun is, it pretty much mutes the recoil, leaving you only with a pleasant feeling of how the gun feels in your hand, handles when it fires, and a desire to shoot this gun all day long, provided you found a smoking deal on a ton of 9mm rounds. Don't get me wrong, the muzzle does flip. I have yet to shoot a gun that is completely recoilless, if that's a word, but remembering a feeling of shooting this beauty makes you want to pack up your bags, grab your shooting buddy, and head back out to the range. But then, of course, I could repeat almost verbatim if I was to describe shooting my SIG P226 Legion, another all-steel, masterfully constructed precision instrument. But again, I can't emphasize enough the mild characteristics of a recoil when shooting this baby. I have installed this DeltaPoint Pro with a triangle-shaped 7.5 MOA red dot. This red dot is a little bit taller than the Trigicon RMR that sits on my FN57, but it also gives you a larger field of view, a large illuminated triangle. Combined with how ridiculously clear the glass is, you could be half asleep and still have rapid target acquisition, increasing your chances of excellent shot placement, delivering the load to the most effective area to neutralize the deadly threat. Of course, no red dot in the world will help you if you're too lazy to have the discipline to go out and practice. If you have never run a pistol with a red dot, it definitely takes some time getting used to. Initially, you won't even be able to find the dot. You may say, "What's the point?" and give up. But let me tell you, with practice, you will never want to go back to iron sights. All things being equal, in enough range time with iron sights versus red dot sights, you will always score better with the red dot, not to mention if you have to deploy your weapon in the middle of the night or a scenario where light is absent from the equation. Leupold built a very stout and a much better sight all the way around compared to their last version. The metal shroud significantly increases your chances of keeping the red dot intact even after a drop or less than a precise handling. It feels rugged, it feels battle ready, and by battle, I mean an intruder in the middle of the night busting through your front door, meaning to cause you or your loved ones deadly harm. Unlike Trigicon RMR, and I'm not bashing it, believe it or not, I still favor the Trigicon RMR over this Leupold DeltaPoint Pro. But it has a convenient way of swapping out the battery. All you do is to remove the little side lever, the spring-loaded lid pops open, and the battery is presented to you as it is stuck to the magnetized inner portion of the lid. One of the features I appreciate about the DeltaPoint Pro is it will turn off completely if not moved for more than 5 minutes, again, making it an ideal setup for your nightstand. The minute you grab your gun, the movement will cause the optic to turn itself back on in an instant. This red dot's battery life is significantly lower than Trigicon's RMR, but considering that this is your bedside gun, and accounting for the fact that most of its life the red dot is in the off position, the battery will probably outlast Trigicon's RMR, which is an always-on red dot. In either case, I think it's a good idea to get those batteries swapped out about once a year, and to help you remember it, just switch them out at the same time you're switching out the battery in your smoke detector, which is something you're supposed to do once a year for your safety anyways. As far as the triangle brightness, you will have no issues whatsoever practicing with this red dot even on the brightest sunny day at the range. The gamut covered by the lowest to highest brightness settings has you well covered. It is overly abundantly clear that this model has elevation and windage adjustments. One tactile click moves the dot by 1 MOA. If you noticed, there is also a slot where you can mount an iron sight to co-witness with this optic. I don't care much for that and am perfectly fine running my gun without the iron sights. I do see the value in the backup iron sight should the red dot fail, and maybe down the road I will go ahead and outfit my CZ with it. But for now, this is what I have. The only other thing I can think of doing to this gun is to throw a can on the end of that threaded muzzle. And truly, you will be prepared to deal with the threat of the night, protecting those who depend on you, and not go deaf while doing so. That's why I support the Hearing Protection Act. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Like this video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, or leave a comment if your feelings are more complicated than that. God bless you. God bless America. Love God. Love your family. Goodbye.